guys, welcome back to the RambleVerse Podcast. Today it's just me, Daniel and Bevans because Sam and James are busy. I hope this is fine. I expect it to just be as an enjoyable podcast, so welcome.
Hello.
Hey.
So, this episode, it's just the three of us, because the other two are busy. And we wanted an episode with the people that don't speak as much. So now you're listening to this. Episode 4, am I right?
Episode 4.
That is
to be episode 2. Never got around to actually doing it.
Oh, wait. Now, you weren't in episode 3, were you, George?
No, I don't think I was. I think I missed it.
Yeah, so
Well, I mean, was he in the original episode too?
Oh, yes, the original episode. Should we start with that?
Well, the one that got corrupted.
Yeah. So for context, the episode 2 that went out with the tier list wasn't the actual episode 2. It was more like episode 1 with just us talking. But the topics were a bit dark. So me being me, I slipped and deleted the file. I don't want to reiterate them, but just so we're clear that there was a second episode that will never see the light of day.
Maybe don't talk about such dark topics.
Yeah. Again, I think for this one, we've all kind of came up with our own ideas. James has came up with the ideas for the past 3, so hey, we're here doing our thing. Yeah, so something different. It's less gimmicky. We're just gonna talk for like 40 to 50 minutes. So, what do we want to start on? I've got a few things.
We could leave you to start, Daniel.
We could do how the channel's doing, or we could go on about that Uber thing that's happened recently. We'll go from either of those.
Let's do the Uber thing.
Alright. So this came out on my Twitter timeline, but basically, Uber drivers, how it used to work is they'd get a Lyft or they'd get an UberEats order, and they'd again, you can pull up the article if you want. So just search Uber employee. But anytime they did that, they'd get paid an amount based on how much the UberEats order was, how far they drove, and that would be like their wage. But someone went to the court in England and basically said, surely these people are employees, which, for them is bad. Like, I think you two can agree.
Yeah, it seems like that would really affect the business model negatively, though. Like, can they afford to employ that many people if they're not paying them? If they're paying them hourly instead of per delivery?
Like, that's what I was thinking.
Surely that's how the business model works. Is the only reason that there's profit in it is because they are self-employed.
I can see why they did it though. Like, it's better for the workers, not for the business.
Yeah, but the problem with the old business model was many workers weren't making enough to have a decent living standard, and that was the issue.
I have a feeling what they're gonna do is they're gonna find areas where it's like that gets barely any orders and just shut it down to save some money.
Yeah.
Like they've got to pay.
Going to happen.
They've got to pay them holiday pay and minimum wage.
Yeah, so there's gonna be like maybe some of your smaller takeaways, smaller businesses that don't have as many customers maybe won't be able to look for Uber Eats anymore because it'd be too expensive a service to afford because Uber's raised the prices.
What I think they
it's
might
not profitable enough for Uber either.
But if they pay them all the minimum wage, right? What they could do is they could say like London. So many people use Uber there, I guess, like just for food and get into places.
Yeah.
I have a feeling like they'll use the really populated areas where they probably do make enough per hour, and then like the smaller areas which don't make as much, and they'll find a way to like spread it all out evenly. So they can pay everyone. Like I feel like they'd do that, and then like cut a few people from it.
likely to focus on more profitable areas, though.
Yeah.
Because no business, aren't
yeah,
they?
like, I
How
mean,
would being an employee of Uber work, though? Because I don't know much about how Uber works, to be honest.
right,
But I
right,
thought it was an app.
yeah.
So, like, you downloaded the app and then you were self-employed, and the app was simply a platform so people could book your services. You weren't an employee in any form. You were a businessman running
through
your
Uber.
business through Uber.
You got there
So
in the
how
end.
does
It worked basically.
paying employees work?
I think how they're gonna do it is, you know how you like clock in and clock out at work?
Yes.
I think when you go on the app, you can mark yourself as available. So while you're available, you can take UberEats or Uber orders. And then I guess they're just gonna be like, well, the longer you're available for, that's your wage. Maybe say you don't.
So it would work more like a traditional like taxi firm, for example.
That's the only way I can see them doing it. Like, there's no way Uber's gonna enforce shift hours.
I thought taxi firms work like people borrow the taxi off the firm, and then for a part of their earnings, and then they were self-employed and they got the rest of the earnings from running and using the taxi.
I thought the taxi people just all worked under the company, and then they took orders, and that's how they did it.
Yeah,
I think you're thinking about rent cars.
Like just to distribute orders evenly.
And I think you're thinking about
in the
rent
same
cars.
way Uber did on a larger scale as a platform, rather than employed. I could be wrong, because obviously not an expert by any stretch.
I know nothing about this kind of stuff either.
I mean, Uber's a pretty easy thing to get. Person has car, they take you or your food somewhere. You pay an amount of money depending on how much the food is and how long they've got to drive.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
if
can
people
see
were paid
why
like,
they want
based
to
on
pay for
availability
job
time.
security and actual living earnings, which is very, very important and should always be a thing.
Yeah. Oh god, I got a
don't
notification.
get
I'm
how
sorry.
I don't get how it needs to work
Yeah,
as Uber as an employer rather than an app platform for taxi services and delivery services.
Well, the good thing about it, right, at least the way I'm looking at it, is that say you can't get a job because they're all taken, you can sign up to Uber as a driver. Like, what qualification? You need a driver's license and a car. Like,
You just need to drive a car.
Yeah.
This is what I'm thinking though. Is it not going to make the requirements to sign up to Uber much stricter?
I feel as though
they give payments to everybody.
I feel as though they're gonna like scale it depending on the demand in the area.
Well,
So there's going to be Uber employees, i.e. Uber will maybe find a way to select certain people based on past performance, for example.
yeah.
I don't know how.
How would you do that?
Maybe good performing taxi drivers. This is what I mean. Like, surely they'd have to, because their employees to go through like a job hiring process rather than just download the app. In which case, it's
I know
going
how they
to
might do it.
produce more income for fewer people than as of right now, which is less income for more people.
Yeah.
So
Actually, I'll show something on the screen so you can get an idea if you watch this back. But when you order from Uber Eats, you can rate your order. So it tells the restaurant kind of how good or bad they did. And you can tick a bunch of different things. But on the second slide, you can tick how the actual service was. So say they take bloody forever to arrive, or like they're rude or something, that gets sent to Uber. So maybe
but
if
surely
someone's...
they won't be able to, penalise for that anymore, because you have to pay them a certain wage.
Yeah, but I think,
mean,
say they get a bunch of negative complaints,
and
then they'd probably be fired.
Well, this is another issue though, this could be like me just extrapolating at this point. What's to stop the drivers from getting paid hourly based on flexible hours, like just downloading the app?
Availability times, I was going to say before.
This is why I think Uber's probably going to have to do some sort of job hiring process rather than just download the app. For this, this is one of the reasons why, because surely the drivers are then incentivised if they're paid hourly to take as long as possible to deliver.
Yeah. Again, I think
So,
the feedback might
to
do it. You know, before we get negative
extend their
feedback.
hours and therefore extend their wages. So Uber's gonna have to maybe manage it like hiring processes and shifts and all the stuff that really comes to being an employer.
I wouldn't be surprised if UberEats goes down for a few days or weeks when they're like resourcing it.
Oh no, months.
Well,
months.
I mean,
10 months this well.
just thinking about it, like it would be hard in terms of actual employment. It would be hard to like change the scheme. But as you were saying, with like how you can rate the like actual driver individually, I guess it would be potentially a case of them like having the same kind of employment process, but being maybe more harsh on the like ratings. Like if a lot of people get consistently negative,
Yeah.
giving less leeway with it.
Or maybe like hiring certain drivers and then if they get better ratings, giving them bonuses.
Oh yeah, you
Would
can
work.
tip them. Or
filtering out
like they do with like restaurant workers, for example. They get minimum wage, but then they can get maybe tips or like bonuses if they perform well on top of that.
I mean, Uber should just hire us at this point.
Exactly, we would be fine.
I mean, I know they're probably going to go bankrupt, but
way.
I mean, hey, Uber should just hire us. You know, like they might go bankrupt paying people a wage, but hey.
It just seems like it's going to take months for Uber to adjust all their services in the UK.
They might have a day to
applies.
do it. They might have a day which they need to like have switched over by.
Yeah, but it'll take them months to do it, during which the service will probably have to go down.
And it could take a massive hit to them.
Yeah, they're going to have to hire drivers as employees in the regular way, and then send them out to different areas that Uber thinks are worth serving.
Yeah. Like, it's difficult to think, like, what it'll do.
Yeah, because it seems like positives, obviously, higher wages, employees can have a decent standard of living, which is always important.
Yeah, like, you gotta pay your guys.
Yeah, you gotta pay your guys, like, you gotta pay your talent. But, cons seem like it will restrict service more to more heavily populated and therefore more profitable areas, and like so it will take the service away from some people, like quite a lot of people, because their areas are either too rural, like, or not profitable enough to be worth serving.
I mean, I kind of just had a thought. So, like, well, for starters, like that would give a lot of people complaints. But if Uber were to go down for like a period of time, and like people were conscious that they'd be like excluding some more rural areas, like, what's to stop a like different business from trying to fill in the gap and gaining
like traditional taxi services?
Yeah, like something to just like kind of say, oh look, like we can do what Uber isn't doing.
Yeah, that'd be good. It'd give them competition.
Though, if you have another Uber-like service, they won't be able to have a different business practice to Uber because the Supreme Court has ruled this is law for ride-sharing services to treat their taxi drivers as employees. So, I don't think you'll get other companies like this doing the same thing.
No, not doing the same thing.
Yeah, serving rural areas and less profitable areas because they will have the same barriers as Uber will.
Yeah, I mean, what I find funny about Uber, this is unrelated, but I was on there the other day to order some KFC, and they put our local Asda on there. Like, it used to just be McDonald's and KFC.
They do like supermarket deliveries now.
I can get £1.62 fish finger pack delivered straight to my door. £3.90 Chicago Town pepperoni.
Oh
it could work like the traditional delivery driver process does for your supermarkets. Like Uber hires somebody to be like a taxi driver, delivery driver, whatever,
Mm.
and then local businesses who can't afford that service pay Uber to provide that service, and then Uber earns that money back through and the wage money,
Yeah.
and the
I see what you
pays
mean.
the wages back through charging delivery charges. That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, for Uber Eats, they
And
increase the price
through,
of stuff.
Like I said earlier, charging the businesses. So that's how they make the money, through charging businesses to provide a delivery service, and by charging people for stuff to be delivered, and then using that to pay the wages.
Yeah, like they already increased the price of stuff on Uber Eats to make like a little bit more money.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I think, say Uber does, like, go under because of it, it could just lead to more restaurants doing it
That
themselves.
Probably will be
That's-
unlikely.
I mean, all you need is a motorbike and an intern.
Dollar corporation, so
Maybe-
now it's going to go under because of this.
It might go. It might not
just
go
might
under, but
provide less service.
Yeah.
Less
As
service to
I was
less
saying before,
areas.
in this downtime, like what Daniel said could be true. Like many like restaurants and such may just like take to doing their own deliveries, and by the time that like Uber's like operational again, like they might just be like, oh, we don't really need you now.
yeah, like that'd work for Uber too. Like the more things that deliver themselves, especially in areas where it wouldn't work for Uber, that'd be like,
True.
Yeah.
like they
That would be
it'd work
good
out.
for Uber. And the thing is with that though, the local businesses would have to have the money to buy the vehicles and the containers,
Yeah.
and to hire the extra employees
Well-
to do the delivery, and not all and quite a lot of small businesses simply won't be able to deliver anymore.
I mean,
Because there's no Uber services, and there might be no Uber services, and they won't be able to afford to pay those costs to set delivery up.
yeah. If you think about KFC or Subway, like they have enough money to do that, I reckon. Like,
I
Yeah.
wouldn't be sure with Subway, because Subway's a franchise system.
yes,
So
Subway
I'm
is a
not-
bit.
So
crap.
I wouldn't be sure how deliveries would work with Subway, because obviously most Subway restaurants aren't owned by actual Subway; they're owned by independent business owners.
I
who
didn't
then
know that.
Pay Subway a certain amount to use Subway's brand name and products.
Oh well, I've learned something
Yeah,
new.
I think that's the thing we've learned
A
today.
lot of McDonald's as well work in the same way.
Oh, James's wage isn't being paid by the big Ronald in the sky.
Yeah, not the big Ronald in the sky, but by
Fucking.
like by
the best
probably-
way I've ever heard that.
Probably James will probably work in a franchise restaurant, which means it'd be owned by a local business owner who will collect the profits and then use part of those. I think this is how it works, to pay Mackies to use their brand name and the goods.
Actually, talking about McDonald's, because I think we're done with Uber. McDonald's Monopoly has been cancelled for 2 years on the run.
Oh,
So,
Oh, that used to be great as well. It used to be able to get like
Yeah.
free like McFlurries and
like
milkshakes and stuff.
I'll give context. Basically, you'd buy stuff from McDonald's, and there'd be like peel-off stamps on the stuff you got your food in, and it could be either a Monopoly thing or like there was something you could
Free
input
donuts.
online. Yeah, it'd be like free something from McDonald's, a Monopoly property, and then on the end there was a little enter this code online to win more, and we'll get back to that. But basically, you could collect more free food basically by going to McDonald's and buying it.
You used to be able to, say you got like, you peeled it off your milkshake, your McFlurry. I don't think they were on the burger packets. They might have been, but I can't
No,
remember.
they weren't.
Yeah, so you peel it off your drink or your McFlurry, right? Yeah, and it was like, oh, here's a free burger, for example. Here's a free
Yeah.
cheeseburger. You have won a free cheeseburger on one side and maybe a property, let's say Park Lane, on the other. And you used to be able. What you did was you went and handed that in, like the side that had the cheeseburger on it, and then they gave you a free cheeseburger.
Yeah, and then you'd get more stamps if it was like a drink, for example.
Yeah,
If you were lucky, you could just chain it.
yeah. And you used to have coloured properties as well to win bigger prizes, that like an
Like-
iPhone,
like
or an
iPhone,
iPod,
100 grand.
or
Xbox
yeah,
or
100 grand,
something.
Xbox, PS4,
There was
whatever.
there was a
It would've been
mini one year,
PS4
wasn't
back
it?
Yes.
then.
was like a
yeah.
mini or an
Yeah,
Audi.
One year, if you got both dark blues, it was a mini, I think.
No, I swear that was orange or green.
It might have been probably green, to be honest. That would
Yeah,
make sense.
it's like I don't think a mini is worth 100 grand.
Yeah.
Ah.
You would need all
Yeah.
of that colour set low.
Like-
You know, for context, how Monopoly works is to build houses and hotels, you have to collect a entire colour set,
Yeah.
which is either 2 or 3 properties depending on your colour set, and that's how it worked with the bigger prizes.
Yeah.
You had to collect an entire colour set.
And there'd be 2
Of
which were
these
really
little-
popular, and then
these
one
little
which no one
tokens.
could find.
I mean, so like with the color sets, like, I mean, I never really knew much, but I'm presuming that like they were harder to find as you went up through the colors.
No, actually.
Or were
They printed
just,
an
like,
even number.
equally distributed.
So they printed an even number of every
It was
property.
Hard, it was hard to
Um,
find
Yeah.
a
So
total set though.
so say you found
Yeah.
Park Lane, like you'd find 10 Park Lanes in the month it would run for, but you would not find a single Mayfair. And then
Oh.
other years they'd shake it up. So they'd give you Mayfair, and you'd see that and think, oh, last year it was Park Lane. Have I just won 100,000? And go back and buy more food. And then, like, you know, on your third Mayfair, you realise, oh no.
Yeah.
Like,
It
it's
was
smart.
it was a marketing scheme, so it's always going to be like
Yeah,
that.
It's a good
Apparently,
marketing scheme.
I don't know why they got rid of it then, because the Earth Squared it worked.
Yeah, it's because last year it was in April, so no one could
Right at
really
the
go into
beginning of,
McDonald's.
The
The Pandy. Don't say the word, or we'll get shot.
exactly.
But also on the end, you know how, like, there'd be something on the end and it'd say, enter online for more prizes? I have a story
Right
about
back.
that.
Followed with that.
Welcome back. Yeah, you know how on the end of the tickets there was a code and you could input it online for a chance to win more
Yeah.
prizes? The website was programmed to give out one of those prizes every single minute of the day, including 4 in the morning. So, you know, considering it took place in
Oh.
Easter break and I was a dumb year 10, I'd stay up until 4 a.m. like exporting a video or something. Stuff never changes. And I'd put the code in, and I won like 3 Now TV vouchers in a row. And like,
I used to be able to get loads of like Xbox Live subscriptions, and
Yeah.
games consoles from Game and sometimes if you
Yeah.
bought sometimes
Gift cards.
with games, yeah, and gift cards and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I just had a bunch lying around the house at one
Yeah.
point that I never used because I never had Now TV.
again, someone needs to win every minute. So if you're up at 4 a.m. and considering it's just in the UK, like the chance of you winning is just astronomical. It was
would be,
a fun
wouldn't it?
thing.
Because there's not going to be a lot of people at 4 a.m.
I got like 3 Now TV entertainment passes, so when one went, I'd just pull the other code out my emails and chuck it on.
I never really understood how Now TV worked. 'Cause
I
apparently
didn't.
Apparently, you didn't need a box, and I didn't really get that.
I think it started off as a box, but it became just built into other stuff
Yeah.
over time.
We have a box.
We had a box.
Wouldn't you need like a smart TV otherwise though? And
Yeah.
not everybody,
Yeah.
And like not everybody has access to those because they are quite expensive.
I mean,
Yeah.
or just like an Xbox or PS4 or whatever.
Honestly, I'm surprised the Switch doesn't have more stuff to watch stuff on. Like, I'll pull mine out now. The amount of stuff that you can watch on your Switch is abysmal. Like, they only got
To be fair,
YouTube a
the
year
Switch was
ago.
the Switch was probably designed as like a gaming system though, just for gaming. Whether the Xbox, especially, has always been designed as a gaming system, but also like a home entertainment system, so you can download all your TV apps on it.
I'd argue against that because, like, if you look at your phone screen, I'll compare my phone to my Switch screen now.
Yeah,
My
I see what you're going for.
phone screen is smaller than my Switch's, and like I can still hold it with one hand, and it's got a kickstand. Like, you can put YouTube on just fine.
you could essentially use it as a mini TV.
Yeah, it would be like
watch stuff on it.
It'd be,
Can you Bluetooth your phone to the Switch then?
if you mod it, I think.
But
Yes.
I mean,
If you mod
Nintendo
it.
doesn't like that.
Funny thing, the game which made my YouTube channel made me mod my Switch 2 days before it came out because I wanted to play it early, and I currently have a constant fear that it will randomly get banned.
Does it not just void the warranty?
Well, how I did it, it's weird.
I don't
actually.
think you can get banned for modding your own Switch as long as you're not like cheating games.
Oh,
or
no.
something like
Oh,
that.
I had pre-ordered the game, but I had not received my copy of the game, so to speak.
Yeah.
But I let's just say I got early access. Thank you, French Post Office. So I think someone got their copy like 5 days early. No, I think my warranty's voided. But there was a tool you could use to just factory reset it with no evidence of it ever being modded. In fact, the only way you can see if it's modded, like you have to physically get tinfoil and fold it in a super specific way and shove it in like where you connect the controller to the console. And that is legit the only way you can tell it's been modded now, because there's like tinfoil dust where I shoved it. I always found that weird how you have to physically jam tinfoil in there.
People find all sorts of hacks.
Yeah.
And
Hackers find a way.
loopholes and gaps in the code and defaults. in
Yeah,
the
I know what you
hardware,
mean.
Don't they?
I think for the 3DS at one point, you could literally download a sound file and it would let you mod your system. Like, it was
Yeah.
that easy at some point.
I mean,
The one
it's
I've heard,
pretty easy.
The one I've heard of is the emulators.
Oh, I think I know
when,
what you mean.
People, download games from older consoles onto the newer consoles using a certain type of code
Yeah.
that you can download.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Oh, there used to be R4 cards as well. Like,
Oh, those were. I had a few of those.
yeah, it's like they made one for the 3DS, but it didn't end up working out.
I
It's like-
mean, the 3DS, just mod it.
Just mod your 3DS. If that's the only takeaway you get today, just mod the thing.
It's not like anyone's gonna care
Like-
anymore. Nintendo brought out the Switch. The 3DS isn't a relevant thing anymore.
I remember
Yes, it's been out about 10 years. I don't think they're
I
even
mean,
monitoring
I got a
it anymore.
3DS the day I had my birthday on the day I had to go under anaesthetic because I broke my arm. And they needed to reset it. And I got my 3DS that day, but because I've been under anaesthetic, it was just very weird. I can't even remember what game I played. It was that one with the faces.
Oh, the face
Yeah.
invaders.
After being
Oh.
dosed up on whatever they shot me up with, that was the weirdest thing.
See, I had a 3DS for a bit. I only ever played one thing on it though, and that was I think that was Mario Kart.
Yeah, I got
And I didn't used to like it as much as the Wii version, so I never used it that much.
Mario Kart 7 wasn't as good.
No, it was sufficient.
Yeah, I remember at one point I was banned from going online on my 3DS because I'd modded it, and I actually made a video which did scarily well because of it, and it's cringe. I can't watch it.
Oh no.
Like, I'm not even gonna put a clip in of it because I can't stand it. But like, I
Which
uploaded
game was it?
none of them. It was just online in general. Which Nintendo baller ass move, but I just wanted to play Mario Kart 7 online at like 2 in.
Weren't they? Aren't Nintendo like proper fussy about stuff like modding though?
Yes,
Or
yes they
aren't
are.
they infamous for like banning stuff?
Yeah, like any fan games, for example, they'll shoot that down with a sniper.
Oh yeah, there's.
Yeah,
I remember
like-
seeing like a really good, like, fan game of like, well, it was like Mario 64, but it was like all like
100 people.
super modern.
Yeah, I think
Oh,
I saw that.
But there's like a super modern one that was like clearly had so much effort put into it, and they were just like, ha, no.
No. Oh, there's-
Instead, you've got to buy our rubbish collection for what, £60,
Right.
consisting of 3
Yeah,
days.
they are proper fussy about copyright Nintendo. Like I
Yeah.
saw this meme and it was just like they were just saying this really poor South American kid had like made a fake Game Boy and then it said Nintendo flew an executive out to seize it.
I think I've seen that.
Yeah, so they are infamously strict about copyright.
Like,
I mean, even on
They've done
YouTube,
some
like,
good
videos
stuff.
in general, I've heard that they can just be like relentless.
yeah, like, what I find funny is Tommy Innit, who's super popular right now, he uses a lot of Nintendo music. And I am
Oh.
fearful for the day, if it happens, when they put that stuff into the copyright system. Like, rest in peace, my man, fly high.
Oh god, it's all gonna get demonetized, isn't it?
Like, demonetized.
5 seconds.
5 seconds is all it takes.
Yeah. Half the channel's demonetized. You using Nintendo music. Demonetized.
Like, it's within their rights, but it's just a bit mean, you know? Like, they
It's
don't
on-
need
Yeah,
the
I
money.
I see why they do it, because obviously if they let some people go, other people will just abuse the hell out of the fact.
They can
Abuse
get
the hell out of it, and then if they're demonetized copyright, point to another guy and just say how come they can use it, even though they've used it nearly the same way. So I see why they do it, to stop the
Yeah.
real big pirates just abusing the fact that they let some people go to get away with it. But sometimes it does feel a bit mean.
Yeah.
It caused more of an uproar than just leaving it be.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
hmm.
So I think the reason why they do it is they can't do it one rule for one,
They've just got
another
a.
rule for another.
I can
without
see
getting
why.
Massive amounts of complaints. So the only way they can actually protect their intellectual property, which is what it is to go after everybody who does it,
I mean,
regardless.
like, I forgot what I was gonna say. Like, it's only some music though. Some of it's perfectly fine. I will say
Yeah,
though.
some of it they would have. Some of it will belong to the people who conducted it,
Yeah.
and then Nintendo would have paid them a sum to use that music. So in that case, Nintendo won't own the copyright.
Yeah.
So it'd be up to the person who actually owns the copyright.
I
to,
thought they did it all in house. Like, most of their music was made by them.
Yeah, I actually don't know how Nintendo really works when it comes to music, but a lot of music is done like that.
Yeah. I mean,
Like,
in
your
contrast.
music that you see in your films is done like that,
Yeah.
I think.
Like, in contrast, you've got Sega. I use a lot of their music from, like, Sonic and that. And they are
Yeah.
completely fine with it.
I mean,
I'm gonna
Sega
be
really
honest.
loves its community. It's
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest, I thought they were the same company.
What, Sega and Nintendo?
Yeah, I thought it was just two different brand names for the same company.
no.
No.
I mean, Sega kind of just
Like,
went under Nintendo
like,
for a
they're
period
the
of time.
opposite to Nintendo in
Yeah.
terms of copyright. Like, chances
Yeah,
are
it's just
I'll use some
that-
Sonic music in this video because it's just safe.
Their games seem to be very related to each other. Like you get like Sonic and Eggman on Super Smash Bros, for example. So I
Yeah.
always thought the companies were just
Yeah.
No, I mean, like,
different brands of the same
I can see why you'd think that, but
overall corporation.
yeah.
that's just them coming together to make a game every 4 years.
I mean, you see, George, like, Sega did used to have their own consoles, of course.
I have one behind
Oh
me
yeah, the
actually.
Sega Mega Drive. I remember playing on that. I remember
But
playing
then
on
it
a really
ended
old version of that.
Dreamcast.
I have a Dreamcast behind me. It is, mwah,
Oh,
love that thing.
My dad used to have a Sega Mega Drive, which he borrowed from my uncle.
Ooh,
But we used to play on, so I remember that.
like,
yeah.
and we did the
Then-
gaming tier list. A lot of my favorite games were on the Dreamcast. Like, I'm not gonna stop foaming at the mouth. I have some self-restraint.
Yeah.
But anyone who knows me knows
When
what
was
games
the
they
last time
are.
Sega actually made a console then?
1999.
Oh Jesus, that's a long time ago.
Like, what you gotta consider is it came out, it was a really good console, and then the PS2 came out a few months after.
And it just kind of got completely
right.
outshined.
Like,
Because that's sold like mad. I think that's the best-selling console of all time, the PS2. Either that or the Wii.
was it? I'll check actually. Best-selling console of all time.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's either the PS2 or the Wii. I think.
I think the Switch is coming up on it. Do we want
Yeah,
best-selling game consoles? Ooh, that's actually really weird. So the PS2 sold 155 million, and the set of DSs, and I think, the original DSs sold 154 million.
Ooh.
And this is
So
Wikipedia, so
PS2 just beats them out. What's
Yeah.
the best-selling console of all time?
PS2.
Oh,
So
I
it
was
is.
right then.
If you want to go for home consoles,
Where's the Wii
the Wii.
on the list?
Give me a look. The Wii only sold 101 million, so it is 6th. It was beat by the original PlayStation, PS4, Game Boy and Game Boy Color, and then DS and PS2.
Ha!
Oh, so a lot of PlayStations have beat
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
Wii. I'm surprised, to be honest.
The only one that didn't
A
was the
lot of
PS3.
people- a lot of people I knew growing up, and I know this is true for a lot of people themselves, is their families had a Wii.
Oh yeah.
Everyone.
Like, it was just the quintessential family console.
Everybody had a Wii.
Every family could afford it had one.
Yeah. I mean, if you didn't have a Wii, you had a PS3 or 360, because they came out around
Yeah.
the same time. Actually, you know what I find interesting?
I'm really surprised the Wii's only 6. I thought it would have been top 3.
Yeah, what I find interesting is the PS3 came out the same year, and I look at games that came out on it, and they still look really good. I reckon you could still make a good game on the PS3 by today's standards.
Yeah.
Looking at how things look.
Compatibility happened with a load of PS3 games, though, didn't it? You could play them on the PS4.
No, you couldn't. You
Could
couldn't.
you not?
Because the PS3 was designed weirdly, so it was really powerful, but it was confusing for people to make games for.
Huh.
I thought there was backwards compatibility. That probably
Nah,
was a different console.
Xbox is more known for its backwards compatibility.
Oh, was it Xbox?
Yeah, Xbox is going ham on backwards compatibility.
Yeah. I'm not the best on games console, so I'm not surprised I got those mixed up.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm here on my Xbox One. I've got what about 17 360 games downloaded.
Oh, that would make sense, wouldn't it? Considering I've played 360 games on 360 discs inside my Xbox One.
That would
Yeah,
make
That would
sense.
that would be the backwards compatible console, not the PlayStation.
Yes,
Yeah.
that would make sense.
Stupid moment from me, that was.
Yep. Oh, only getting exposed to however many people make it this far. I mean,
Yeah.
how many people would make it this far, actually? I was talking to Yuso about this before, but I've got the
Yeah.
analytics back on the first few episodes.
We can.
We've hit
There'll-
10
there'll
hours
be
of
a-
watch time.
There'll be a few people,
A few
one or
people
two.
will watch it all the way through.
I reckon.
Alright, let me see. Which episode was actually watched the most? I need to do a little bit of messing around. Watch time, hours per video. Do a bar chart 'cause it's easier. Yeah, okay, so the first episode was watched for 5 hours. The second was watched for 3 hours and just a bit. And the third one, which came out yesterday or the day before, has been watched for 2 hours. So it's catching up. That is delayed a little
Catching
bit
up.
though, so. And I think the first episode died because, as may have been hinted, someone went and spammed the link on Reddit, which a bunch of people came from Reddit, clicked on it, went straight off, and that told YouTube, oh god, people hate this, they'll leave him within seconds. So.
I mean, that was when the first dislike occurred.
Yes, it was. That's the
Yeah.
only dislike we've had on the channel, actually, from that incident. It hasn't happened since, but you know.
Yeah, I don't think advertising on Reddit like that is probably the best idea. But at least
Wise decision.
it wasn't advertised in a
The right place.
relevant subreddit.
Yeah,
so
I reckon.
it wasn't the right place to
Like-
be advertised, like you said, and it wasn't going to get much positive engagement from that advertisement.
Yeah, regardless
Simply
if
because of the positioning of the advertisement.
regardless of if you hear from Reddit or not, like I'll try a few different things with this episode, see how well it does. So I'll put it in my Discord, my Twitter, because
Like I said, we're only on
Those were
episode
relevant.
4 this will be, won't it?
Yeah.
So we're still testing the waters, really.
I mean we've hit 10
in a lot of
subscribers,
ways.
which is great.
Oh, that's a good milestone.
Yeah, it's good. Took me a while on my first channel to get 10 subscribers, so to see this hit it within less than a month is pretty good.
Yeah, pretty motivating. But like I said, it's a work in progress. We're testing stuff out. So
Yeah. Again, if the tags are definitely getting changed each time, and I'm trying to see what sticks and what doesn't.
Yeah.
So we're basically chucking stuff at the wall, seeing what sticks, aren't we?
We're trying to figure out how long to make them. If this episode gets 30 views within the first few days, it means whatever I did works.
Yeah, so we would appreciate some likes, dislikes, maybe some comments.
If you like, that is actually the best thing. Subscribing means very little. Likes and views mean a lot more. So
yeah,
I think
likes, views, dislikes if you don't like it, because
any interaction helps.
Yeah, any feedback is appreciated. The more detailed, the better.
Yeah, I think.
So thank you in advance.
I've told you this before, but if someone takes the effort to actively like a video, it tells YouTube it was better than average. So you know. Likes are good.
Like,
Comments
hey,
are way better.
This thing's good. You should come look at it.
What's that? Oh, today's the 19th. A YouTuber I watch who actually finds exploits in YouTube is meant to be uploading something today, and it's meant to help you speedrun YouTube. Like, it's an exploit to get you shown to so many people. Because we should talk about that, because it's been and happened now. So this will be like probably the last bit we do. Actually, we'll do one more after. But the idea is you know how you have community posts on YouTube. So they like text, maybe advertise a video. This guy, he's called the Spiffing Brit. He has 2 million subscribers. His whole channel
don't
is
do community posts. They're so annoying.
I know.
When you get the adverts for another channel in when you're trying to watch a YouTube video.
But you see, George, you see. This is a very condensed version, but YouTube made this feature and no one used it. So they kind of buffed how influential they were a little bit every time they updated it, and no one used it. And then people found out, oh, this is a little bit broken. This is showing it to more people than it probably should. And then if you added a poll on top of that, it quadrupled that, because it was showing people that they actually interacted with it. And then because there's nothing else to say put tags in, because they aren't for community polls, just videos and channels, I think. If you were to just find a list of very popular YouTube search terms at the time and put them at the bottom of the post, it was absolute chaos. Which is that's probably what you were seeing, is people were using that exploit to get out to as many people as they could.
I see why people would do it, and it's like I said, it's like the Nintendo thing we were talking about earlier. People will find hacks and exploits in anything.
Yeah, it's like,
but sometimes
shoot your shot.
Get a bit annoying when I'm trying to watch a video unrelated to that video. Like a video comes up advertising a gaming channel, and I'm trying to watch a channel telling us about a certain time in history.
I'm not sure what you're talking about.
Figure in history, and it's just like quite annoying because it's not the content. It's not related to the content I'm trying to watch right then and there.
And what the Neremic YouTube channel is great.
Distraction.
Yeah. Well, I'd click on that if it was from Dark Tiger MC or Neremic, my 2 favourite channels.
Dark Tiger MC.
Amen.
Class channel.
What a man. What a guy. I think those are the 2 featured channels for this one.
Huh.
And
Why is Dark Tiger MC on featured?
Funny. Look, he's an up and coming YouTuber. He needs his exposure.
Useless exposure, boys.
For those of you
Useless
maybe
exposure.
confused, that is one of our podcast members' old channel. I mean, I feel cruel, but my old videos exist, so there's
Yes,
karma.
We took a listen
Any
to
publicity,
the other day.
is good publicity, Daniel.
Hey, you might as well just stop posting community posts.
Oh, that sounds like a great idea.
I suppose under that slogan, yeah.
The problem is you only unlock them at 1,000 subscribers, so we don't have them yet. Like, if
Oh God,
I knew
we're
that exploit
miles away.
when it came out, if I had 1,000 subscribers, I would be monetized. I would be monetized, fellas. It's the 7-year-long goal.
What a dream.
You've been doing it for 7 years.
Yeah, started on the 6th of September 2013, I think.
That is good going, that.
My current channel started 2015-ish.
That's still good going.
Trust me, you can see the progression. I think the best videos are when you click on them and they'll just randomly talk about something that happened that day, and I'll know exactly what I'm talking about. I think one example that got massive for some reason, and like I was just playing the game. It was an Animal Crossing one before New Horizons, and I talk about how that day was the head boy and girl, like, kind of the day they decided them at my high school, and I went on about how it's just a popularity contest because I didn't win. Obviously salty, thinking, okay, it's gonna get like 5 views because that's how my channel was back then. 600. It's like,
wait, did you vote for yours? Because ours were just chosen from the ranks of the prefects, who were also chosen from those who applied to be prefects.
I'm not getting into this because I will get unnecessarily angry, but no, my entire year group voted on who they wanted. And one of the people that was like chosen walks up and said, "I don't have a plan for this, vote for me, I guess." It's like, oh.
No, when you have the students vote, I mean, as much as you can argue that students voting is fair, at the same time, you're just going to get everyone voting for some popular dude that they like.
That is exactly what I thought at the time.
Bevans, that never changes. Have you seen the current state of our democratic leaders?
the Chad Boris Johnson versus...
Boris Johnson. You can't look at Boris Johnson as Prime Minister and say...
Big man Bojo.
Well, the fact that democracy is a popularity contest.
The man needs a sitcom. The man needs a sitcom. But talking about voting, there has been rumours that we're changing the channel name. So should we put this topic to rest now as our final one before we wrap up? What do we keep the channel called? Let's take a vote now. Because currently we're called Blue, because I couldn't be bothered coming up with an actual name. But the podcast is called RambleVerse.
We didn't really have many ideas at the time, because like I said, this is a working process.
Now,
I mean, Blue wasn't like...
It wasn't unanimously decided. It's just because no one else decided anything else.
Exactly.
Yeah, because like I said, working progress.
Yeah,
we're just testing the waters.
Yeah, would you say we rebrand it, or do we just keep it as it? Because one of our members very much wants us to rebrand.
Well, I mean,
I'd say rebrand it for now to RambleVerse, because as of right now, it's just a podcast.
It is just a podcast.
I mean,
and if we want to do anything else, maybe set up a separate YouTube channel for it.
See,
under
the
a
thing
different
is,
name.
Setting up another YouTube channel would slow the speed right down.
It would, yeah.
It would also be another subscriber for my main channel, so I am not complaining. But in terms of managing it, it's just easier to do it all on one.
Yeah, and I mean, like, I understand what you're saying with rebranding it, but like, the idea is that like by keeping it as just like Blue, I mean, I'm fine with the name. Maybe there is a potential better name, but by changing it to RambleVerse, that limits the channel to podcasts and only podcasts. Which, of course, like you suggested doing another channel for, like, to do other stuff, but that would overcomplicate things.
Yeah.
Because we can, like, if we ever wanted to do like something gaming related on here, it would be fine because it doesn't have to be RambleVerse.
Like, God forbid we do a gaming related video. Like, I'll say that now. getting all of you to record your screens for Among Us would be a nightmare.
I mean,
Oh god.
I don't think we wouldn't need everyone.
I wouldn't have this. I wouldn't have the slightest
maybe-
clue how to go about that.
Maybe James, maybe James and maybe Bevans could record their screens, and that's at least half.
We could. I mean, like, for what it's worth, it probably wouldn't be the worst thing to start off with, like, just having it from your perspective.
Yeah, I'd have to.
Yeah.
I'd just cut between the meetings and have high.
Maybe
I could do that.
leave the channel name as it is then. In that case. Also, guys, if you want to see that,
Yeah.
and if you want to see some gaming content, let us know below.
Sadly, we don't have a community poll, so the only way we can actually gauge this is if you leave a comment to let us know if we should change the name or not. This might be the last episode for a bit.
And whether you want to see some gaming content as well from us.
Yeah.
Any comments
Let
from
us know in the comments
channel
below.
do not count.
Any comments from who?
A member of the channel does not count.
Oh, well, that Naramic VODs person, am I right?
Am I right?
Oh, what about Glitch
Yeah,
Vision?
so anyway,
Bit of
let
Waffle
us know
United.
below whether you want to see some gaming content and whether you want to see whether you think rebranding would be beneficial.
Yeah, and I think with
any genuine opinions will be valued.
Yes, they will.
And taken into account.
And thank you if you've made it this far too. I feel as though that's important.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway,
thanks for making it this far.
I think with that, recording. I don't have to put too much fancy stuff on screen. Maybe like a graph, like we were talking about before.
Oh yes. To visualize.
Just to the side, remember to cut this out. I assume stuff like what you just said would just be cut out.
What we just said would be cut out. What?
You know, like whatever, doesn't matter.
Yeah, we leave it all in. It's got an authentic feel. Unlike last episode where I had to cut out someone singing "God Save the Queen."
Oh fuck.
See, now we've incorporated it into the episode. I think with that, I think we'll leave it there. Subscribe if you want to get notified when we upload. Just leave a like if you enjoyed and never want to hear from us again. You know how it is. I think with that,
You know how it is, guys.
we're done. This was interesting, just the three of us.
It's been George, Daniel, and Bevans on the RambleVerse Podcast.
Goodbye.
Thank you for listening. And
Thank you.
We'll see you next time.
Bye.